and welcome back to BLOCKTV Special Edition, Special Blockchain and Booze, where today, on a special occasion on Facebook, rolling out the so-called idea of Libra. We gather the wheelers and dealers of the sphere to see what they think about it while they try to keep sober. And joining us today, lucky woman, I believe the first time here, Tal Ben-Osklar, owner at Andromeda. Nice to have you here. With us also, Or Wilder, Tech and Advisory Lead at Consensus in Israel.
Nice to
welcome, new victims, always love that. Or Lokay Cohen, Vice President at Bittax, probably the happiest person at the table here.
Yeah.
I know. And Mati Greenspan, how can we do this without the Oracle? eToro's Chief Market Analyst. Nice to have you.
Thanks for the promotion.
I know, there you go. Okay, what's the latest? Just kidding. Latest news, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we all heard about Libra. We've just dealt with Libra for the last 48 hours. We probably will for the next several months. But finally, somebody at Facebook has gone on record, given the mass amount of possibly criticism and mainstream media coverage. And so Sheryl Sandberg, well-known number two at Facebook, the woman behind the phrase leaning in, had the following to say at an event this week, actually just yesterday in France. Let's have a listen.
We announced yesterday is the formation of a global association, the LIBRA Association. It's going to be based in Geneva. We have 27 partners, some incredible partners. We have PayPal and MasterCard and Visa and Vodafone and Spotify and Uber and Lyft, right? Real companies, as well as NGOs and nonprofits. And what we would like to do is help there be a global cryptocurrency that's more inclusive. Now, we're a long way from launch. Regulators have concerns. We're already meeting with them. We know we have a lot of work to do. But this was an announcement of what we would like to do with a roadmap for people to jump in and help us do it. And we're going to not run this. It's going to be an association, not reporting to Facebook.
So your immediate response to the regulatory scrutiny, we've already had Maxine Waters in the US, plenty of Congress people speaking out how it should be halted already. We've had Mark Carney saying, the door's open, the door's not open, but our minds are open. How do you feel about the initial take-up of this?
Well, we announced this early. All we've done so far is published a white paper, announced the formation of an association. And that's because we know we have a lot of people to work with. We know this is a heavily regulated space. We need to talk to people, meet with people, and that's what we're doing. And we are then going to launch.
Okay, Sheryl Sandberg, number two, Facebook. What a difference a day makes. I mean, the things that confuse me about her statement is, we launched we told the world what we would like to do. I was on didn't you just hear that? Mm-hmm. Okay. And that is as opposed to the day of the launch, which was, here's Libra, and the coin is coming out at 2020. What do you think is behind that? Do you think they can stand behind that promise that came out on Tuesday?
My ears are still burning. We believe
Real companies, not fake
we believe
companies.
that there should be a global cryptocurrency that's more inclusive.
What does that mean?
More inclusive than Bitcoin?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to understand, because Bitcoin has 10,500 nodes. It's free to run and operate.
You don't have to have $10 million to get a node?
$10 million is a barrier to entry. I'm sorry. I don't have $10 million to run a node in Libra. So...
Or you're not impressed?
Yeah, well, when was the last time you used your Bitcoin for anything?
I use Bitcoin pretty often.
So you're, unique. The thing about Facebook is, not Facebook, I'm sorry, Libra. Different
Libra
story,
because,
story, but it's fine, it's fine. The thing about Libra is that people actually is going to use this coin. They're going to have a payment system. They're going to have Visa and all MasterCard, and everybody who wouldn't touch cryptocurrency before with cryptocurrency, they're going to have wallet. They're going to have all of their users opening a wallet, which they haven't done before.
Guaranteed?
Guaranteed.
You guarantee that there's going to be a lot of use on Libra coin? Because I don't know. I mean...
Well, I think so, actually.
How
I think
so?
that, yeah, Facebook has more than 1 billion users on its platform, more than 1.5 billion users on its WhatsApp platform, Instagram. They're all operating together. I can see how people will want to engage with a coin inside these communities. You can pay with WhatsApp. Actually, I think it's a clever idea. They've been trying to nail it for quite a while of time. They've been probably working behind the scene.
They worked behind the
on
scenes for
LIBRA,
at least
yeah.
a year and a half. This was a very secretive project, but a very rushed one.
Actually, people understood it when they bought a blockchain team. We understood that something.
No, we understood. We
Yeah.
had very, I'm speaking as really a journalist. Other than us understanding all clearly they have a blockchain department, that was it.
So I'm going to tell you right
Yeah.
now, there's a 50% chance they're never going to get off the ground.
That's what I'm wondering
First
as
of
well. Why
all,
are you saying that?
Okay, I mean, maybe I'm no doubt that they'll have a great user experience. I don't know what kind of advantage they'll be able to pull, or over regular financial services. But the way that they're handling the asset-backed side makes this oddly look like a security. Now, they haven't been very clear so far as to what exactly is going to back. So they say a basket of global currencies, bank deposits, and other investment-grade assets. So we don't know what they're going to put in there. They could put stocks in there for all we know. They could put high-yielding bonds in there. That would then make it an investment. And if it's an investment, the SEC is going to come in and say, wait a second, you have people making how many transactions a day on your security? We need to see a lot more paperwork.
A lot
from
more
you.
of that. I'm wondering with yes, stop, please.
The thing that annoys me about what she says, you said inclusive, and what's going to be more inclusive than Bitcoin? Why do they make it sound so good to the people thing? Why can't they just say it's going to be another form of government or another form of bank? Why do we have to sound so liberal, Libra?
Yeah.
And why can't it be just be honest? That's a new, it's not a new system. That's an old system with a currency, digital currency. I'm not going to talk to you about the blockchain side of things.
No, we'll get there, don't worry.
I have no idea what blockchain about it, but that's fine.
Oh, well, we had somebody yesterday on who essentially just said flat out, if you read the white paper, you realize this is not a blockchain.
Why can't they change? It's based on blockchain concepts. Why does it have to be?
Well, I'll go you one further. I logged into WeChat this morning, and I've got a balance there of 71 renminbi. That program has been running for 10 years very successfely in China.
Yeah.
They don't need a blockchain.
They don't need a blockchain. It's
They also don't need
complicate
decentralized
things.
governance. Tencent owns it all.
And that's a good question. Or why then are they selling it? First, because I had a different question, but never mind. Why are they selling it? And I was thinking the same thing. As a crypto, first of all, is it cryptocurrency, guys?
They're
What's
specifically
cryptocurrency?
using
What's
they're
the-
specifically using
Yes, it is.
complicated terminology in order to confuse the general public and the lawmakers.
Lawmakers came out swinging, but before we get to that, there was a rush to launch. I know you said that we were all aware of the fact in a year and a half this was a secretive project. We knew they had a department, but this felt like a rush to launch, okay? Because they don't have the coin yet. They do not have the legislators yet. There's somebody who's even said to me, I said yesterday to somebody, I think the Facebook is looking to replace the dollar, and somebody in the States said to me, you know what, that will be the death of Facebook. That nobody's going to let them do that in that respect. So they're not ready to launch the coin. Why announce?
I think they are pulling themselves into the market by letting people know that it's going to happen. They also have like 70 places for more validators that they need. They need to complete the 100 validators list.
Right.
They're maybe fourth way into it. They need to convince regulators. And they have, next month, the regulators have requested Facebook to provide more comments about that.
Oh, let's go to the, exactly. You know what, the Senate hearing is scheduled, and we'll go back and forth. The U.S. legislator was fast in its freak out, is what I basically wrote. Senate Banking Committee announced it will be holding a hearing next month. That's around the corner, middle of next month. The question witnesses over Facebook's new cryptocurrency initiative a day after Facebook rolled out Libra. Senator Mark Warner, for example, had the following to say. Let's have a listen.
Saying that Facebook has tried to bring about a number of other partners. I'm willing to listen to their proposal, but what I heard virtually uniformly from commentary this morning, here's a company that has frankly lost the majority of Americans' trust about their ability to keep individuals' data private already. The idea that we're going to turn over our financial data and information to that company, I think they've got a big uphill effort.
Warner's a Democrat. Republicans are saying the exact same thing. There is one thing Republicans and Democrats agree on right now, and that is that they don't really trust Libra. And that's a hard thing to do in today's America. How is this thing, do you guys, you think, going to move along?
Well,
please.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
It's going to move along by clearing our path to cryptocurrency regulation worldwide. So the Senate
Well,
Committee,
very right in that.
the Senate Committee has deliberating on cryptocurrency. On cryptocurrency since February last year, right? They have not changed the legislation. They have not done anything. They are learning the subject. They can, legislators all over the world are studying this issue, and nobody really does anything, although there is a big market who needs regulation to operate and preventing worldwide adoption by not regulating the market. So it's a good thing. Facebook and Facebook Army, which will be Libra Army probably, will knock on the door and will have them regulate this market.
I love it because you just said Facebook Army, and the only thing that came to mind, and they have their own currency, and now they have an army, and soon they'll have passports.
It's a new way. It's a new country. That's countries now. We don't America, Israel. It doesn't make any sense now when we have internet and borderless communications. Now those are the new countries.
But that was always going to be the end result of
Google.
Capitalism.
Yeah.
The question is how?
Companies, corporations
But listen,
replace
We've seen it now
countries.
in our face. Now they have cryptocurrency, not just the internet. They have money.
Yeah.
Money is being held by them, those big corporations.
Not yet, but
Would you
it is.
prefer-
Let's
Would
talk
like
about
to
Would you
That's-
prefer your money in a central bank? You're from the Bitcoin community. The Bitcoin community who does not like Facebook, who does not like anything that's centralized. Would you prefer your money in central bank or in Facebook?
I think it's the same thing.
no,
It's
I
not
would
the
prefer
same thing.
Amazon personally. I mean, they're a lot more
I like
efficient.
Google.
So this is what
I
I'm
like
going
Google.
to say.
it.
You are saying Facebook is the new federal bank, but you can choose this federal bank. Next thing, you will be Google the federal bank, Apple the federal bank. It will be a list of federal banks. Competition is good, by the way, even for federal banks. And then you can choose your own federal bank.
And hold on. Jerome Powell, the head of the United States Federal Reserve, apropos federal banks, has said that he recognizes both potential benefits and risks of Facebook's recently unveiled Libra cryptocurrency project. At a press conference, the Fed chair was asked whether he was concerned as to whether Facebook's cryptocurrency Libra could undermine the Fed and erode its power to influence the economy. In response, Powell said he believed society remains a long, long way from digital currencies replacing central bank currencies, and that the central bank was not too concerned about no longer being able to implement monetary policy because of them, given the infancy of the digital asset class. They're just not ready.
I was watching that on live. I wasn't expecting the Libra question. I just wanted to know what the person in charge of all of the money on the planet
Had to
say today.
Exactly.
And that answer just blew me away.
Why?
They're sleeping on their faces. Completely sleeping
They
on,
aren't they?
on their faces. I mean, what do you mean? If you have a new currency introduced into this, let's say that it does pass the regulation and it does gain widespread adoption, it's a direct competitor to the US dollar and does erode the Federal Reserve's ability
I have to say,
regulate the economy.
That consortium sounds like, I mean, if you guys, we read the white paper or bits of it that came out, right? A little bit. Sounds like what that association, which by the way is a terrible name, but that the association is creating a reserve
Dr.
bank.
Evil's conference
Reserve
table.
bank,
I know. It's creating a reserve bank. It's the, that's what it sounds like, right? Now, is that a bad thing or a good thing, do you think?
I think it's a good thing for now. I think it's the start, like Kor said, of a path towards cryptocurrencies being adopted by a mass adoption, like getting mass adopted. What about the billion people that cannot pay, that cannot hold money? We are giving them access to the world, and Facebook are helping them. I'm not saying that they are doing it in like the perfect way. Yes, it's a permission blockchain. It's not public chain. It's not Ethereum or Bitcoin or anything else. It's their own thing, but they are bringing mass adoption. You can call it a cryptocurrency, a security, or anything. They are providing people the ability to pay, to
Look,
get money.
if this thing flies, I mean, we can all agree on that. Mass adoption for Libra will be instantaneous. Would be available to 3 billion people.
But
Right?
if they're behaving like, and it seems like they do behave like banks, okay? So why would they give those people? That's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't discriminate anyone. You can be anyone. You can have $1, 2 cents, and you can still own a Bitcoin. Why would they? And the new system of banks will give them opportunity to have a coin and communicate without all the procedure
With all
and
the procedures that make those banks
I don't.
currently
It doesn't make
necessary.
any sense if they're behaving, and it looks like a complete. It's another bank. It's an old kind of bank, just with a digital. Thing.
That would be correct if Libra was not asset-backed. The fact that it's asset-backed basically makes them a central bank, because then they're the association are the ones who decide on the level of reserves. They haven't necessarily specified there's going to be one-to-one. They might move to a fractional reserve system.
It cannot be a one-to-one reserve.
Not right. As we've learned with Tether, it's not quite possible to always
But at
figure out
least
exactly how much you need.
You will know it. You will know
Guys,
it before.
But-
this association is going to make money, okay? Let's be honest, okay? VCs want to do 3 or 5x on their money. They won't put in like $2, $3 in order to get the same, or like, it's not an NGO.
It's not an NGO, and I want us to look. Facebook did roll out Libra this week with several explainers for us mere mortals. One of them was an explainer about what this association is. Let's have a look. There you have the association. Clearly, this is not a permissionless network. There is the promise of down the line getting to a permissionless network. And it's going to all be based in Geneva. Now, why do we think Switzerland, just before we break this down?
Ooh, easy.
Please.
Yeah, I mean, it's, that's where you would do it. I mean, the regulations are loose enough. I mean, Switzerland is always going to be neutral, and they're always going to house your money in a safe and secure way. I mean, that's the banking capital.
How do you think this is marketed as democratic? That was the thing for me. What's democratic about it?
That doesn't make any sense. It flies in the face of logic, and it's a bold-faced lie.
Well, if you have $10 billion, it's very democratically.
Extremely democratic
So
for
very
the 1%.
democratic
Yes.
if you're part of the 1% of a real company. Let's not talk about.
I mean, 100 members. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but that's not
not.
representative of the world's population.
What is the name in the Star
I mean,
Wars
if
of the
you're telling me,
council?
yeah, seriously, it's exactly what it reminds me of.
Exactly, it's the council.
Seriously.
Yes. Right. No, you were saying.
Oh God. No. I was thinking of the council.
The council, exactly.
But if you're a
Council.
country in Africa, for example, where's your representation in there? In this?
And this is to you, I mean, because I think that what you said is brilliant before. Look, Facebook, the coin will have the ability, if it launches, to indeed help people in countries where they do not have access to money, right? Physical money.
Yes, and
But
remember, it's tied to blockchain, and I think
how?
they're using a permission network. Yes, they're utilizing blockchain in order to provide some kind of validation over the transactions. People will be more into this mode that they can believe in another system that is similarly not a bank right now. It's semi-bank, let's call it, okay? Let's put it like that. I believe that it will drive many people into the crypto space. Money will be moving from dollars into Bitcoin at the end, because you will be able to exchange Libra in exchanges like
Possibly in the
Coinbase.
beginning, but what if the association decides that they want to shut off permissions for the exchanges that have Bitcoin?
So I want to believe.
How do you,
I
so
wanna be-
at the
believe they
moment,
have
they
agreements.
need to have permission. So
They
I
have-
assume that at the beginning, some exchange that offers Bitcoin will have permissions. But the association then has the power to delete those permissions.
So I don't think so, because it's an open network where everyone can interact with an API into the network. I can sell anything and use
But the
Libra.
association controls the permissions.
I agree and disagree, because it's an open source. So yes, there needs to be some kind of security mechanism in order to prevent you from buying illegal stuff with Libra. Okay,
Does there?
There needs to be.
Okay.
I don't know if they already set it up. Probably now, not. But they
There
will.
isn't in Bitcoin. I don't know.
Sometimes.
Look, there are those who say that they stole the best of Bitcoin and Ether and remanufactured as something that is crypto, but essentially it's not. Because then along with these explainers also came this whole notion of the Libra ecosystem.
They didn't steal the best. They stole buzzwords.
The buzzwords part.
Thank you.
Yes.
I mean,
The
Bitcoin,
buzzwords.
as
Yeah,
we know,
because this is not. This
has
is
all
this
of
is
the
not permissionless.
property.
This is definitely not going to be decentralized. Okay.
Open, borderless. Censorship resistant.
Again,
Semi-decentralized.
we're familiar with many permission networks that are working they're running by different consortiums. This thing hit hard on the entire market. Okay, that's in my opinion the first permissioned blockchain network that is user eccentric. Okay, it's a B2C application at the end. Okay, that provides decentralized aspects. I'm not voting towards it, but I'm not against it as
but
well.
there is no
Yeah.
right or wrong. It's just, as I said, as Mati said, and I totally agree with that. Those are buzzwords that have the potential, and I'm wondering with all of you, to then derail or nix, because the great public, the mass public, will think this is.
Fast forward to July 16th, okay? And David Marcus is going to be sitting in front of Congress.
Of the Senate.
Do you guys remember when Mark Zuckerberg sat in front of
Yes.
the Senate Banking
Yep.
Committee? They asked him questions that clearly indicated they have no idea about the technology of Facebook. David Marcus is going to be able to dazzle them with terminology that they simply will have no choice but to say, okay.
And it should
Nod
be.
their head and smile as if they understand everything that
It
he's
should
saying.
be. Nobody
It
in
should be what?
Bitcoin can
Dazzled.
do that.
Yeah.
Nobody in
Can do
Bitcoin
what?
have the deep pocket and the centralized power to go through
What Or is saying
go.
to get to the road of mass adoption so
Exactly.
quickly, to enable it. I think what we're arguing here is fine, but why then, steal the identity of something it is not?
Well, the other big lie that got me was when
Don't hold back, Mati, please. Yes. The other big lie. Okay,
Yeah.
you don't want to say it. Okay. I want to talk about though the altcoins and what about altcoins? Libra sounds like it can replace the functionality of money transfers that XRP offers, the ease of purchase that XRP does, and maybe even prove a better and more lucrative platform for smart contracts and dApps than Ethereum. Not to mention hundreds of other tokens that suddenly seem, if this thing flies,
See, there you go.
trivial.
There you go.
Why do you need XRP?
But why do you need Libra? And that was the question that CNBC asked Marcus the other day, is why do you need to have a new blockchain? Well, we looked at all of the options and we didn't see any available that can do, at the scalability and the transactions that we want to do.
Currently, by the way.
But XRP and XLM, which basically was where they got their code from, the BFT consensus algorithm, they're already widely popular networks. They do everything that the Libra blockchain will be able to do. So they didn't necessarily, they could have come in, it's very clear.
Really?
Yes, but
Can
no-
you get them to any bank? Is Visa getting them? Is MasterCard getting them?
If you,
No bank,
and no
rather
one-
than
no one-
in
no
Switzerland,
one also control-
will get money that its source came from any cryptocurrency now. Rather few banks in Switzerland. This is it. Ripple, if they could have done this, if they could have worked with Visa and MasterCard, why haven't they done
They
it
are.
before?
By the way,
they do work with
who
Visa and MasterCard.
Who controls
They bought
XRP?
Earthport,
But
which is a partner of Visa.
Have you tried to cash out some of your Ripple or whatever money into a bank account?
I fail to see the relevance here.
I'll tell you.
Please.
This is regulation. This is the power when you have the money to fight regulation, to get a standard of regulation, and to get banks and federal banks to have authorization to get the real US dollars that its source came from the activity of cryptocurrency. Nobody has really succeeded of doing it so far.
Yes, Facebook is the bulldozer here.
Right.
Right, they're
this
a bulldozer. They're going to
Ripple
come
did
through.
not-
And here's where I disagree with you. It's very simple. It's only you believe that because they have the money and the power, they're de facto going to receive the authority.
Because they're the ones who
What
can do
I
it.
believe is the bulldozer's coming, and what we're going to get here is clarity. And I think that that's a bit more.
First of all, clarity is very important. Okay,
Right.
It's very important. But what you're going to get here is regulated exchanges, which we don't have right now. Is regulated wallets.
Guaranteed?
We don't have. What's guaranteed? What's
You
guaranteed?
say, we're gonna get 'em, we're gonna get 'em, but how do you know that we're gonna get 'em?
Is it guaranteed that Bitcoin going to live forever?
If we have
Nothing
guaranteed.
lives forever,
if Libra
Carlos.
goes
Yeah.
public, I can say that yes, in order to utilize it in any exchange, it will have to be regulated. And today you mentioned XRP. Do you remember
And-
that people got XRP for free?
Yeah, I got some.
So, yeah, I got- I got some as well.
Yeah.
Today the price is how much? It's $0.50 right now,
Yeah,
a
quarter-
bit less.
quarter.
Yeah. So
32 cents.
who controls the XRP price?
I'm a genius.
Because you've got somebody in your ear.
Who controls the price?
Who controls the price
Yes,
of
of
XRP?
XRP, yeah.
Ripple Labs, more or less.
Thank you. It's centralized as well.
It's, I mean,
I don't
those
think-
who argued that about XRP before as well. I just want to tell you guys, though, there are people who are not, well, you know, not as happy about Libra, but not for the same reasons that some people are in this room. Because at the end of the day, you know, as they said, they wanted an exclusive global coin. Needless to say, the Russians had their own thing to say. Earlier, even right after this thing launched, the Russians basically said "niet." So
Not before France, though.
not before, yeah, France was first out the gate. That was
I
great.
love that. By the
That
way,
was
Bruno
great.
Le Maire is amazing.
No, entirely, and you trust the French on that. But within, you know, Block TV's Usher Westrup Evans, our senior correspondent, had a chance this morning to speak with Vladislav Ginko, who had the following to say about the prospects of Russia, be it accepting Libra or even just being in competition with it. Let's have a listen.
You know, Russia also is not willing to take on board the Libra project or other similar projects backed by the dollar and coming out of US-based companies. So
Yes.
with companies in Russia such as Telegram making their own, the Gram token, VK has spoken about perhaps creating their own cryptocurrency. And of course, as you said, the potential for a digital ruble. What approach do you think Russia will take looking into the future to become this digital powerhouse?
It's very simple that we now would like to launch own Libra coin. Actually, we have some people in Russian political elite, economic elite. They have vast reserves. They have vast financial means to finance this project. And we see that, first of all, that Libra coin is one of our competitor. And another point that we have a problem how we can allow Libra coin in Russia is if this Libra coin is backed by US dollar. It's impossible because you know that Russia and European countries in part tries to diminish the role of US dollars in the transactions.
Well, Vladislav, I think, is speaking the sentiments, if you could understand, of most of the Russian they're not going to take it. It's the dollar to them. It's the dollar. And we all know U.S. sanctions, et cetera, et cetera. But I have a feeling that Russia, even before, you know, the national coin or whatnot, Russia is also, they're running into this race with their own idea. I mean, they're hoping, be it the gram that we're thinking might launch in, I think, October or November. But, okay, we've got some countries saying, no, thank you, Libra.
I mean, I'll go you one further, though. I mean, who's to say that the U.S. government is going to allow Russia to use it? I mean, there goes their weaponization of the U.S. dollar. I mean,
yeah. You said no to it, we weren't going to let you use it anyway. But there's that too. But there will be some form of a battle. And in that I agree with you, Tal. What have we done with Libra that doesn't change actually the old regime, right? Sell me on it.
Libra struggles with borderless. It does. I mean, it's very clear. I mean, that was like one of the first things out the gate that people said, oh, well, if we have Libra, we don't need Bitcoin. So if Libra is able to go through the United States and they get approval to operate in India, which India has a very hush-hush on cryptocurrencies, but maybe Facebook can persuade them with their big bucks, that might be enough to make this a very successful project.
Just India.
But it's not Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is borderless.
What does it do to Bitcoin? What if it sells and it's mass adopted and it's the great and it's your dream and really 3 billion people pick up on it? And many in the current cryptocurrency sphere hope that that'll get more people interested in cryptocurrencies. But why would it?
Because
if it's easy to use.
When you hear about Libra, you need to understand what's the origin. Well, for me, you need to understand what's really working and really is borderless, just like Mati said. And when you do that, when you start studying, you understand that's Bitcoin. That's the one coin you can actually be borderless and undiscriminating and
censorship resistant.
Decentralized, like really decentralized, not with 1% of the population.
So why 10 years into its inception it has not been mass adopted?
I'll tell you why.
Please.
Studies show it's not just me. There is several factors. One, it's the difficult to with technical.
It's technically still very difficult to get one. I mean, you could, but yeah.
There is the trust issue.
Huh? Okay.
You don't.
It's a FUBAR question. Bitcoin has been mass adopted already.
Like
No,
30
it's
million
not.
people.
Well, with whoever needs it and whoever wants it can get it quite easily. Bitcoin was never there to replace fiat currency, not as far as I know. It was there to provide an alternative to the fiat system, which is run by governments and financial institutions. And it has provided that alternative.
No, it's not. You
Maybe
cannot
it's not
do
provided the
practically
alternative.
anything with it. You cannot use it so often with
I can
anything.
buy it, I can sell it, I can
you
give
can
it
save
to you
with it.
without
you can
anybody.
buy it and save it to the day that it will become
And
a currency.
I can give it to somebody else on anywhere in the world at any time without anybody's permission. That's its use,
true.
and that's what it
the
does.
problem. It's against the law.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Why is that a problem?
Why? That's another
It's
factor.
against the law to drive without a seatbelt in some countries. It was against the law to smoke marijuana in California 2 years ago. It's now illegal today.
The seatbelt
Well,
thing
since when is the law the standard for what we need to adhere to?
And since when does the law is relevant to everyone? Do you understand? Like when we did, I gave money to a guy in Nigeria to build a school like a long time ago. Okay, I did it.
Was he the prince, by the way?
kidding.
Because I got the same email.
Yeah, he was a real guy. We talked.
Okay, a real Nigerian guy with a school.
And you could have done that, and you say it's against the law, but there are countries when they don't have banks and they do use Bitcoin with their smartphone.
But they're few and far between. I don't agree with you that's been mass adopted. And I think what Ur is saying is very valid in that respect. Yes, you can buy it, you can sell it, you can hold it. Can you? Yes. But what can you buy with it right now? Easily.
Well, you can. You can buy several things.
Several things other than pizza, fine, and here and there.
Starbucks.
I know.
And also, I think Victoria's Secrets. But the thing is, it's not worth it. You're gonna buy something right now when it's like 9,000, and then the next thing is going to go up for 20, and what? You lost money.
Well, it depends where you live.
You lost money. So
it certainly depends where you live. You have to admit.
Why?
Because if you live in a country where the economy is seeing 1,000,000% inflation, anybody who bought Bitcoin in Argentina when it was $20,000, oh my gosh, they are way ahead at the moment.
Right, but that's
Even
true.
They were ahead when it was 3,200. Okay,
right.
even though after 80% devaluation, they're going, praise the Lord, I was able to save some of my money.
Fracture part of this population has a much more volatile market than Bitcoin, but this is not the same. As long as it's going to be
But that's what I'm
volatile,
saying.
people will not use it.
But as
This
long
is
as the
why
economy is running
stable
smoothly and
coins-
Jerome Powell is doing his job, he has nothing to fear from Bitcoin. And he's absolutely correct, because everybody can transact in the US dollar, they can go to the supermarket, buy their milk and eggs.
So
right?
do you
But
have-
if they fail on their job, that's when it's there. That's when it's there to prop up the economy. That's when it's there to prop up the people.
But you're saying it's a bunch of criminals that does not want to
What?
obey the law.
Wait,
and
I'm sorry.
does not want
I don't
to-
remember saying that. Please don't put words in my mouth.
You're saying, why do we need the law, right? It's illegal, so let it be.
No, I didn't say why we need,
No,
why
you
do we need
said,
law.
I know what she's referring to. You said, you know, when did the law become something we need to
The
adhere
standard,
to?
yes.
Yeah,
the gold standard.
It's not the gold standard, but people, I mean, it's what we have to follow if we want to be considered.
Laws are good in
Yeah.
general, and I believe that's true. But then there are cases where government steps in and makes laws that should not be. Okay, and we as people and living in a society need to understand when that happens and when it has not.
Okay. Soon, though, there won't be any need for that because Facebook will be the law. That said, that said, operating at all from a lovely house in Geneva. I do want to say, though, I mean, I think we all agree this was a game changer week. Because whatever happens with Libra, and I think the interesting bit seeing, you know, will they really launch this coin as they promised in that announcement, or will they wait? Needless to say, though, folks, mainstream media is all of a sudden all over cryptocurrency like a rash. All the
Get
way.
some sound effects on that
Yeah.
one.
It is unbelievable. I don't need to tell you, and luckily for me, Lokay sent me the next clip, which I want to be so grateful and thank Trevor Noah and The Daily Show for for existing. But this is what Trevor Noah had to say about the Facebook announcement, which I think we can all agree with, and yes, agree. Let's take a look.
But yes, you heard that right. Facebook is going to launch the world's biggest cryptocurrency. And I don't know how I feel about this, because I don't want to mix Facebook with my banking. Yeah, it'll be like, do you want to move money to this account? Yes. Do you want to invest here? Yes. Do you want to come to Kimberly's baby shower? Yes. No. Undo. And also, I don't know if the name Libra was the right choice. Right? First off, it sounds like counterfeit Italian money. And more importantly, Libra won't sound cool in a rap song. You know, just be like, riding in the Benz, got that Libra. Gonna hit the zoo by a zebra? Wait, baby, come back!
I want you to raise your glasses, ladies and gentlemen of the cryptosphere, whatever remains of it. I'm kidding, raise your glass consensus. There you go. You have been fabulous on this blockchain of booze on the Facebook day of the Libra. I don't want to tell you what it makes me think of, but we'll leave it at that. That was BLOCKTV. We'll be right back.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.
Side effects may include death, rash, and